Hello, good morning. It's Kim Wade. Today we're going to be doing flow yoga. So I'm asking to have 2 blocks in the strap, and it always helps to have a little bit of a smile. Remember, Thich Nhat Hanh says, when you smile, you are the master of yourself. And we're going to explore balancing today. So sometimes when our balance is off, smiling does help. It balances out at least the face. So finding yourself comfy on your mat. Checking in to see what's up today in your body, in your mind. And we're going to find a posture that feels really balanced. So you can sit in Sukhasana, easy cross-legged pose. You could lie down if you want to. Whatever brings you to a posture that feels stable. We're going to start with the Samavriti breathing pattern. That's an equal inhale and an equal exhale. So gently closing your eyes, turning that inner gaze inward and downward towards your heart. And see if you can find balance in your breath body. Balance on the left ribs, balanced on the right. We'll take about 5 breaths here, just physically seeking a balanced position. And then secondly, bringing our breath into a balanced state as well. Here we go. As you continue to breathe in this really gentle way, this really balanced through the left and the right sides, use the breath and ask yourself how you are today. How are you being you today? How are you being in this body today? How are you being in these thoughts today? In your space today? How is it being you today? Let's spend 8 breaths here, just keeping that Samavriti, that equal breathing pattern going, and just check in. How am I today? On my body physically, on my body mentally, and on my body emotionally. We're not coming into a mantra yet. We're not setting an intention for the class today quite yet. We're just sitting and noticing. How am I today? Where am I starting today? Now, bringing your creative energy, your imagination here, let's imagine that you have a little window at the very crown of your head, the top of your head. And we're going to peek inside this window at the top of our head. And we can look down and we can see the spine all the way through the body, all the way out through the tailbone. We can see that very clearly. And it's sitting up nice and tall, perpendicular to the floor. It's not leaning left, it's not leaning right, it's not leaning forward, it's not leaning back, it's not crunched, it's sitting up nice and tall like a pencil. Taking the hands to the legs if they're not already, finding balanced weight in the hands, balanced weight in the sits bones. Start to bring that spine balanced in reaching to the ceiling at the same time as you're dropping towards the floor. So that's yoga, right? Two things happening at once. Reaching up with the head and the tailbone down towards the floor. The ears up towards the ceiling, the shoulders down towards the floors. The armpits up towards the ceiling, the hips down towards the floor. See this balanced body, balanced physical body, balanced breathing body. Starting now to create a longer breath. Maybe it's a little bit longer on the inhale and a little bit longer on the exhale. We're going to settle in now for an intention. What is balance for me? What would balanced feel like for me? What do I need from this sequence today? And we'll take 5 deep breaths, settling in on that mantra, that promise. What do you need? Why are you here? And how can you be served? When you have your mantra today, bring your palms to touch, thumbs against the heart, pressing evenly into both hands, feeling that pulling in with the hands, but the extension and reaching out with the elbows, pushing into the palms, into the fingertips, but letting those elbows spread apart. Repeat your mantra a couple of times. And then gently bow the chin to the chest, open your eyes, see your fingertips. Remember this promise that you're making, and then gently release the arms down. Very, very nice. So we're going to take Virasana. So you're going to use your block, and we're going to come to sit on our knees, open the calves. Remember, this is important to keeping the health of the knees. And put a block, whatever height feels good to you, between the feet, and we're going to sit up nice and tall. We want to double check that the toes are looking straight back, and we're even pushing through the pinky sides of the feet. Okay, sitting up nice and tall, just like we were doing, the tailbone's dropping like a heavy anchor on a boat, really dropping to the center of the earth. The crown of the head is reaching up. And now we're going to bring our mind's creative attention to the hips, right? To the hips from left to right. Imagine there being a rod that goes into the left hip, straight through the torso, out to the right. So we've got the rod perpendicular coming from the crown of the head to the tailbone. And then we have from hip to hip. Balancing equally through the pelvis, sitting up nice and tall. Taking your hands to the thighs here. Take your front rib cage forward and then take your front ribs back. Front ribs forward and front ribs back. Notice that the ears are staying level. We're just moving that thoracic spine back and forth, challenging ourselves to keep those hips nice and level. Nice and level, moving forward with the ribs and back with the ribs. You could take your arms with you if you want. Open up, take the ribs forward, and take the hands together as the back ribs move. Twice more. Hello, thoracic spine. How you doing? Just checking in, seeing how it's going. How's the breath? Is the breath still moving? One more deep breath. Very nice. Come back to your neutral spine. Bring that idea that the crown of the head and the anchor of the tailbone and the levelness of the hips, all that's still happening. Press the tops of the feet down. Come back up onto your hands, on your knees. Come back to your hands. Keeping that block between your ankles, really squeezing it. And if it's moving around, do your best to get it right between those ankles. Squeeze that block. Curl your toes under. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. You've got a nice squeezing in of that block. If you need to move it, move it. Now imagine here that not only are you squeezing the block between your ankles, but you are also trying to imagine that at the same time as you're spreading those ankles apart. So in other words, you're turning on both sides of the leg. You're squeezing that block, which is at its widest level between your ankles, so your hip distance with the feet. And you're also at the same time trying to pop that ankles open as if we have a strap around our legs. 2 more deep breaths. The next time you exhale, we're going to bring our knees back down and we're going to sit back down on that block, rolling the calves out, sitting there and pausing. Okay, so that's the work. We're going to imagine that we're pulling out and squeezing in. We'll do that again. Hug that block between your ankles. Curl your toes under, bottom up. Squeeze that inner leg towards the block. Squeeze the inner ankles towards the block, but keep imagining that you're also undoing that squeeze. You're doing both at the same time. 2 more deep breaths. One more deep, deep, deep breath. And exhale, knees come down. Take yourself back to Virasana, sitting back on those ankles and pause. Remembering the mantra. Beautiful. All right, here we go. Pressing the tops of the feet down. We're going to take our blocks now and we're going to form a little line. So we're going to be lying down on the blocks and you can decide however long your torso is. Maybe you'll have a little space. Maybe you'll have 2 blocks plus a pillow for your head. You decide how long you want it. I'm actually going to really challenge myself and I'm going to take them up to the medium level. Okay, so you get to decide, and using a pillow, or as I said, if you have another block, you could do that. So you're going to sit on the blocks and you're going to lie down where your spine is right on both blocks. You have a pillow for your head. Knees and ankles are hip distance apart. Keep imagining that you're squeezing that block between your ankles. Taking both arms out sideways here, find the palms down. You're holding onto the floor. Getting comfy. 2 more rounds of just getting comfy. Okay, here we go. Keeping your right hand on the floor. Hug the floor with the palm. Take your right leg up. So this is some strong core work. Take your left arm to the sky. So you have your left arm in the sky and the right ankle in the sky, holding here. And then take that foot down, that arm down, and switch. Left arm hangs out, left leg up, right arm up. So opposite. You could feel how the balance on the blocks is. You're feeling maybe you're going to fall over. Maybe you've already fallen over. Thank goodness it's not that far. And come out. We're going to go through 8 more now, moving a little quicker. Right leg, left arm. Left leg, right arm. 7. 6. Keep those anchoring of the abdominal muscles. 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Both hands out, taking yourself into a happy baby or Upavista Konasana, just using strong core. And for about 8 breaths here, we're going to play. So you might play in a way where you're taking the arms up, right? You might play where you're trying to grab your ankles. You're just noticing, just being very playful with what you need to do. How do you steer yourself in these positions? So just play a little bit longer. You could do scissor kicks. You could try to wrap your knees to your chest, one at a time. How do you balance here? And if this is not challenging for you at all, turn the blocks up a little higher. Another 2 or 3 breaths, just play. One thing I really love about balancing is that it's not about being stagnant. You're not stopping. You're not static and holding. You have to play. You have to steer. One last breath. And beautiful. Let's take a very easy roll off to either side, whatever works for you. That was fun. And now we're going to sit on our blocks again. You can have your blocks flat. We're going to use 2 blocks side by side, so it's a nice wide seat for us. We're going to go to the edge of the blocks for Navasana. Okay, taking your bottom is on the blocks, your sits bones are level. You've got that nice perpendicular spine. You're holding onto your knees and you're going to lean back. I find sitting on the front edge of the blocks is the easiest. So coming into boat pose, taking your legs up, your arms up, and breathe. If this is not working for you, you could do one leg at a time. Anything you want. Boat pose. 3, 2, one more deep breath. Play, play, play. And beautiful. See, that's why you needed to bring your smile. Okay, let's take our blocks out of the way and let's start to move this body in a flowing meditative way. Here we are, hands and knees. Start to move the spine any way you want. You could do that cat-cow that we were doing on our bottom. Taking your time when you're ready. Downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance apart. Knees are hip distance apart. Your hips are hip distance apart. Well, look at that. One more deep breath. We're going to take 3 rounds of Sun Salute A, looking between your hands, feeling that squeezing of the block. And exhale, jump or walk your feet forward. Inhale, come halfway up, nice flat back. And then exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, and just see how you're doing. Strong, powerful legs. Inhale, sweep it up. Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands. Exhale, back into mountain pose. Feeling yourself really anchoring through the heels. balanced mountain. Surya Namaskar A. This is a moving meditation, okay? A moving meditation. Each movement has an inhale or an exhale flowing gently. Exhale out. Here we go. Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, find that plank pose, nice and strong. Exhale, knees down if you need to. Chaturanga. Bhujankasana, low cobra. From the pubic bone, downward facing dog. We take 5 breaths in down dog. This is where we receive the work of our meditation that we've just done. Feel free to pedal it out. Feel free to lift your hands and reach for the opposite knee. You're taking your body on a nice little ride here. One more deep breath. Balanced. Looking at your hands. Play with a jump there if that serves you. Exhale, forward fold. Noticing the arches of the feet. Noticing the softness of the toes. Hello, little feet. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching up. And exhale, Tadasana. Second round. Inhale. And forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale. Step or jump it back through. Moving on your own pacing here. Deep breaths. Gently walk, jump, or float your feet forward, back to your standing forward fold. And inhale one more round here and settle in to mountain. Remember that mantra. Moving meditation. Downward dog, we take 5 deep breaths. This time we're going to play with some low lunge, high lunge. Shift the weight to the left foot, take your right leg up, knee to elbow, hug that belly in, and exhale, kick it up. Second round, knee to opposite elbow, and kick it up. Last one, knee to right elbow, step it forward, bring your left knee down, and inhale, sweep the arms up. Feel that action. And exhale, hands come back down to the floor. Lift the left knee if that serves you. Squeeze those thighs together. And inhale, come all the way up. Now, how do you find balance in an imbalanced pose? How do you find balance in the torso in an imbalanced pose? 5 deep breaths. High lunge here. Or low if you want to keep that knee down. Just stacking those sits bones, stacking the hips, stacking the front and back ribs. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms to the sky. Exhale, step back to child's pose, down dog, or if you want, through the vinyasa. Come back to balanced breath, even Samavriti pattern. Switching sides, take your left leg up, left knee to left elbow, hover that belly, lift it up. Exhale, kick to sky. Opposite elbow now, cross it over and to the sky. Last one, step it to the left wrist, bring your right knee down, get your bearing. Fix your clothes, your hair. Okay, and here we are. We're going to find our way. Some of you will take your knee up. And how do you find a balanced body in an imbalanced pose? How do you find balance when life is out of balance? Right? You have to dance with it. You have to flow with it. You have to play with it. It's constantly making little tiny adjustments. Anything you want to do with your arms here that can help you find that balance. One more deep breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale. Again, stay in down dog, go to child's pose, or floating through that vinyasa. One more deep breath. Beautiful. And gently walk, jump, or float your feet forward, back to that standing forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up, all the way up, and exhale, release. Beautiful. Okay. We are going to play with the idea that we have an internal rotation. So coming into mountain pose here, feeling the sense that you're spreading the heels apart. You're not really truly doing it energetically. You're doing it. You're feeling that those inner thighs are rolling. Soften the toes. Actually, let them play the piano. Here we are in mountain, just moving those toes around. Nice and soft. You've got that plug under the big toe mound, the plug under the pinky toe mound, and the front of your heel. So that little 3-prong there, that plugs into the earth. I used to teach it, there was 4 corners to the feet, but thinking of it as a 3-prong, the front of your heel. Nice and gentle on the body, but very rooted and kicked down into the feet. Now stack up here, bring the thighs lifted, zip up the pubic bone to navel, feel that belly lock starting to knit in there, finding balance in the hips, finding balance in the rib cage, not just left to right, but also front to back. Shoulders are down, and then the head sits right on top. The back of the head is sitting right over that lower back. Fingers are reaching to the floor. Let's take 5 deep breaths here. What we're focusing on is this feeling that the heels are spreading apart and the toes are soft. Nice and gentle, but very strong as well. Beautiful. All right. We're going to take a block to the front left corner of our mat. You can make it low or medium, your choice. We're going to play with Garudasana, eagle pose. We're working on our balancing today. So as we're playing in this pose, I want you to double check you're keeping your knees safe. So I'm going to turn forward, but maybe you still have your facing the front. Hands in prayer here, feeling the action of that strong mountain pose. We're going to bend the knees slightly, keeping those inner thighs rolling. Start to take the right leg up, one-legged mountain pose. Notice that I'm not lifting that right hip. I'm still trying to focus on bringing the balance of my hips, the balance of my ribs. I might even take the leg behind me. And I might bring it up. And back. And forward. What are you doing with your left toes? Are you clawing the ground? See if you can spread them out and keep feeling that prong. One more, knee forward and knee back. Good. And relax. Pedal it out. Pedal it out. Dance break. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Switching sides. Hands in prayer. One-legged mountain, left leg up. We're watching the right toes. Let it be nice and even here. Try to balance out that pelvic bowl, lifting the ribs up, shoulders down, tops of ears lifted. If the balance feels really strong, maybe take the leg behind you. It looks like I'm resting my foot on the couch, but I'm not. But I could. You wouldn't know, but I'm not. I promise. And up. And back. And up. Just notice what you're doing with those right toes. And up. Last one. And good. Back to mountain pose. Dance break. And turn yourself around. And turn yourself around. Okay, that's the idea. Everything wants to stay balanced. We're going to take ourselves into like a little chair here, sit down, nice opening on the hip crease. Keeping your left kickstand active, we're going to bring our right leg up and cross it over and put the toes on that block that's sitting there. Before we go further, we're going to remember that we have those inner thighs rolling in. So we're not opening this leg. It's not like a one-legged chair. We're closing it up. Like we have to go to the bathroom. Like, squeeze it in. Keep that foot down. Bring your attention to those left toes, nice and soft. What are you noticing here? How can you wrap around? How can you wrap around here as you're hanging in? We're going to do this and it's going to get more challenging. We're just on level 1 here to play. Ready? And back to mountain. Take some fancy move to move that block over. You see that? All right, second round here. Find your chair, Utkatasana. Bring your weight to the right foot. Keep that kickstand open. One leg here, left leg comes up. Cross it over and put the toes on that other block and engage that internal rotation. 5 breaths. Feel what we're doing. Squeeze that pole. Feel yourself like hugging a fireman pole. Inner thighs are rolling. Knee is sitting right over those second, third toes. Very safe here in the body. 3. Right toes are still gentle. And 2. And beautiful. Come on out. Find your mountain pose. Get the block out of your way. And reset. 5 breaths. Okay, let's wash it away through our vinyasa. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Step back to down dog or go through your vinyasa. One more big breath. Okay, let's do it without the block for some of you. Some of you can continue doing that work we just did. Everyone else, we're going to find full Garudasana. Shifting weight to the left foot, take your right leg up, finding that internal rotation. Arms open, nice and wide, expansive. Give yourself a hug with the left arm on top. Now squeeze. As your shoulders are moving, pull them down the back so that you're not losing any integrity. Working deeper, you might even come forward a little bit. Tuck your chin, feel the stem of your neck getting length, and soften those left toes. 4 breaths. Softness and grace here too. One more. Now pressing that left foot down, shoot yourself back into that big lunge. Right leg is back. Inhale, take the arms up. Put the palms to touch, put your thumbs behind your head, squeeze your elbows in, and just breathe. 5 breaths. Find your way to stillness here. And beautiful, keeping your right leg where it is. Start to straighten your left leg and just gently forward fold. If you feel like you need blocks here, feel free to, with integrity, grab them. Otherwise, just let yourself hang. Let that heavy head go. Balance out. Pressing through that left big toe as you forward fold. 2 more deep breaths. Beautiful. Softly bend that left knee, hands plant. Step back to down dog through the vinyasa, or wait for us in down dog. Samavriti pattern. Even inhale, even exhale. Now notice the difference in the way the body feels from left to right side. Let's check in on that other side. Ready? Walking, jumping, or floating yourself forward. Back to that standing forward fold. Feels so good to move. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands. And exhale, reset, mountain pose. Okay, we're going to the other side now. Soft toes on the right, shifting the weight, taking your left leg up and squeezing. If you're doing the earlier level, feel free to grab that block. Inner thighs are rolling behind you. You're sitting down. The toes are soft. Arms open nice and wide. Our left leg is on top, which means our right arm this time. And as we have the arms wrapped around one another for eagle arms, our shoulders are sliding down our back. Some of us may want to tuck our chin. Deeper still, maybe you'll even let those thigh bones drop, telescope up, but going forward into a bend if that works for you. Soft toes, 5 breaths. Feel that hugging of the back. One more deep breath. We're going to shoot that left leg way back into that big old lunge. Sweep the arms up, thumbs at the back of the head, hug those elbows in, and find stillness. Keep smiling. One more. And exhale. Keep the left leg where it is, but straighten that right leg. Plug in that front big toe. And we'll take 5 breaths here in our forward fold. When things start to get chaotic or imbalanced, how do you stay calm? This is the practice right now. You get to practice it on your yoga mat. You get better at it. And when life throws you curves, you can do it there too, because you've had this practice. Calm down. Stay focused. One more deep breath. Good. Softly bend that right knee again through the vinyasa or the down dog. And we'll take 5 breaths in a resting spot. We're almost at the top of our hill here. So take a pause or hang in down dog.
So nice. When you're ready, gently walk, float, jump your feet forward, back to that standing forward fold, and then sweep it up. Remember why you're here today. Remember why you practice it all. And come to Tadasana again. Feet hip distance apart, body strong, breath calming down. Okay, so we're going to Vrikshasana now, tree pose. Let's get ready. Stacking the balance positions, those points of balance. This time we don't have the internal rotation, we're asking for an external rotation. So when we do the external rotation, typically we take and make our pelvis unlevel. So how do we keep this action but keep the pelvis level? So we're going to play with that. Bending your left knee, just open and close and open and close. Are you feeling this drop? So try to not do that. Keep it nice and level. 2 more. And reset. Right leg, open and close. Just notice what it feels like to open that hip. Can you tell the difference? Okay, and now back to mountain pose. Hands into prayer. Anjali Mudra, nice and strong here. Take your right or left leg up. Find the balance here. And some of you can take the foot below the knee. Some of you can use your hand and have it go to the top of that inner thigh. You could take your hands in prayer at the chest, or you could open up those tree branches. Now, just like with life, right? We have to dance with this gravity. We can't just stay here, right? It's always about playing and dancing with our good friend gravity. So find a place to look. You can look straight out to the horizon. You could look to the floor a couple feet in front of you. And try to balance out ease and work and level hips, level ribs, level shoulders, level ears, level arms. If you wanted to work deeper, you could drop that left arm on that left leg, and you could add a little bit of a lateral curve here, moving through those right ribs. Whatever works for you. 2 more deep breaths. Hands back into prayer. Close that knee, kick it, and dance break. Do you see my tree? Do you see my tree? Balance gets people all up in their head, negative, like I should be able to let all that go. We're playing, we're having fun, we're just moving. Lighten up. Okay, you should probably do that second side. Get ready. Okay, same thing. Feet are hip distance, nice and easy. Hands in prayer. Keeping the hips level, take your right leg up. Find a place that feels nice and safe for you. Balance out those hips. If you fall out, you come back in, no big deal. Find something to look at. You've got that window at the top of your head. You can see your spine reaching to the sun and dropping to the middle of the earth. You're hugging in that corset. You got a soft smile because you are the master of yourself. You're having fun here, playing in this beautiful body that you have. Again, working a little deeper, you could drop your right arm and reach out through the left ribs, a little lateral stretch. Whatever you need, 3 more. Dance with gravity. Playful. And then come out when you're ready and dance, break it out. And come back to mountain. Okay, we're going to do that again. Remember when we were in the beginning and we were on the blocks and we were doing the leg lifts and we were really having to maneuver here in our torso? That's the focus this round. In our tree, I want you to do a lot of work with the way you're hugging in. Here we go. Last round, and then we're going to slow down. Hands in prayer. Take your left leg up. Find tree pose again. Hands on your hips, hands in prayer, hands up, and feel the work. Feel yourself sewing it together and knitting it together and engaging and breathing and doing all that work as if you're still lying down on those blocks, leaning into the back wall here, leaning back, feeling that action. Maybe not as pretty as the other one, but really, really learning something here. One more deep breath and kick it. Hula hoop. Switcheroo. Same thing. Leaning back here, feeling yourself back. Taking your right leg up, finding a level that works for you. Softness in the other toes. And bringing your attention again to the torso. What are you doing here? Hug that imaginary block like when we were on our backs. Really engage here. So intellectually, you're trying to skeletal balance. You're trying to bring everything into balance. But energetically, you're having to squeeze and lengthen and pull in and push out. You're balancing out the torso. There's a softness in the work. There's an ease. Smile. One more breath. And reset. Good. Very nice. Hula hoop again. Good. I actually can't hula hoop. I can only do it when there's no hula hoop. Okay, here we go. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, nice flat back. Exhale, jump or step it back into down dog. Last vinyasa here. Take yourself down. Inhale, push up position. Cobra position. And then exhale, completely release here on your belly. Challenge yourself to breathe into the back. Now, we started with a block between our ankles. Let's pretend there's still a block there. We're going to bend the knees this time, still have our feet with a block, between our ankles, imagining. We're going to bring our elbows down, and if this feels safe for you, you're going to come into Sphinx pose, Sphinx elbows here. Sometimes it's nice to take your elbows forward and just rest your forehead on those thumbs. If this feels very relaxing to you, keep the toes turned to the kneecap and really imagine you're squeezing in. How does it feel in your back here to do this? Is there any crunchiness? Now you can stay with that. Some of you are ready to go a little further. You can release the torso to the floor, and if you can easily grab the ankles. If you cannot easily grab the ankles, you're asking violence out of your knees, and that's not what yoga is. So if you cannot easily grab them, please go back to the earlier level. Bring your forehead to the floor. Hold your ankles with your hands. Feel the feet pulling to the wall behind you, which is opening up the neck and the shoulders. And do it so dynamically that it's now lifting up your heart. So now you're lifting up into bow pose.
And the balance here is, how do you balance out the front and the back sides of your body? So obviously we have a front body that's really long and we're collapsing a little bit in our back body. How do you come out of the pose a little bit? How do you knit those front ribs together to bring more length to the back body and a shortening on the front body? 3 more deep breaths. 1, 2. 1 more deep breath. And when you're ready to release, relax those legs to the floor and bring your head to rest. Yogi's choice. We're going to do it twice more. You can do that pose again, or we're going to recreate it here in our bridge pose. So go on up in the bow if you want, or finding bridge, you can touch your ankles, walk your shoulders in and down, take your hips up, maybe interlace your fingers. And same thing, seeking balance, relax the front of your body and lengthen the back. 5 breaths. Squeeze that imaginary block between the ankles at the same time as you're trying to pull the legs apart. They're staying stable, but energetically you're feeling that work. 2. And gently coming down in a pose that's restful. Some of you are finished back bending. Some of you would like to do one more. You could do full wheel pose. You could do bridge again, or you could do Dhanurasana again. If you're finished, you could take your blocks underneath your knees and come into Baddha Konasana, bound angle. So one more round of a back bend, or come to rest here with your knees open wide and the feet together. Let's hold here for 8 breaths. Breathe into those tight spots. Everybody now coming down and finding our way to our backs with the knees bent and the feet on the floor. And we'll counter some of that back bending. Okay, when you're ready, bring your right knee into the chest, hug it in tightly, and extend that left leg out straight. And breathe. Maybe you want to bring your forehead up if that feels nice. Or keep it down. If you're feeling really dynamic, you might switch dynamically. If you're not feeling dynamic, you'll just put that foot down, bend the other one, take the left knee in, and extend the right. So you decide what you need. 5 breaths. Head can lift if it wants, or keep it on the floor. How you doing? Just stirring up, letting all that go, all that stress, all that stagnation. Again, hug the belly in, bring both knees in, grab whatever you can reach without torquing your neck. So you don't want to be looking behind you. You want your forehead and your chin to be the same height. Maybe you'll come back into happy baby, or maybe you'll find Upavista Konasana. And we're going to hold here very still for 8 breaths. So find a position that feels nice on your back and then melt that back. We've worked it hard today, so let it have this time to really melt like butter. Nice and still. Very nice. Adding a little twist here. Bring your knees together, 1 foot at a time on the floor. Our spine is right in the middle of the mat. We're going to change that. We're going to slide the hips offline now, and we're going to bring our knees up to the chest and drop them to the left. Now our spine is still in the middle of the mat. We want to double check that that's happening. 5 breaths here, Jatara Parivartanasana. Just feel this beautiful twist. Your back has been worked, so if you want to use your hands to massage it out, to encourage breath to go there. It's so yummy, yummy, yummy. Thinking of that spine we started with, let it turn now. Let it twist like a screwdriver. Balancing. What does it take to balance? When you're ready, hug the corset in, bring your knees back up, shift yourself back to the center, notice that, and then we'll flip-a-roo. Take the left, or the hips to the left, and drop the knees to the right. Same thing, we want our spine nice and long, arms wherever you want, and take 5 deep breaths there. Deep breaths. 3 more. And now taking your time, come on out and find a relaxing pose that's just right for you, whatever that looks like. Finding a place where you put blocks underneath your knees or a neck pillow, whatever you feel like would be just right for you. And if there's something else that you know you love to do at the end of your class, then feel free to do it. I've been hearing a lot of people really doing yoga at home and really exploring a lot of creative energy on your mat at home. And I love that. So honor that. If you have an instinct to do something and your breathing is calm, then please do it. Noticing that some poses create energy and some poses are relaxing. So we're looking for poses that are relaxing right now so that you can get to a restful state. So if there's something else relaxing for you, feel free. When you're ready, finding that place of stillness, no rush. Making your way there now, making your way to a Shavasana posture. Finding a stillness in the body, relaxing the breathing technique, let it be whatever it wants to be now. And let's think about balance in the world, in nature. There's an up and there's a down, there's a left and there's a right, there's an in and there's an out, there's a dark and there's a light. So when we look one way, it gives us clarity about the other way, that we're working with these oppositions. It's in the pull of gravity and the reaching out of gravity that gives us strength, that gives us grace. It's the adversities in our life that gives us courage, that gives us confidence. So as you take yourself into the most important pose, the pose Shavasana, where everything gets distilled and processed in you,
I want to send you off with the idea that life too is balanced. There's 50 good, 50 bad. There's days with headaches, there's days with not. What if that were true? What if it's not, my life was going so well and then something bad happened and now it's over, or now it's worse, or now it's, what if this is just isness? 50% good, 50% not so good. But it's life, and it's the ride that we take. So here we are, allowing ourselves to drop into the mat, drop into this beautiful body that's gotten you here, those knees and those shoulders, that gut, that head, that intellect, that wisdom of the heart. All of you got you here. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Got you right here. Allow yourself to fall into the floor, maybe a little bit more heavy. And take in that outer world, transform it, and then take the inner world back to the outer, balancing us out. What out comes in, what's in comes out. What's out comes in, what's in comes out. Letting yourself go. Letting yourself lean back into this posture in gratitude, not just for when things are easy, not just for when things are going our way, but also when things are really hard, when things are cluttered, when things are chaotic. Can we be grateful for these scratchier lessons too? They make us who we are right here, right now. What's out comes in, what's in goes out. Letting go. Deep bows and namaste.